Well, students, today we will be going through the concept of oscillation chapter in this your revision schedule. So let us start this oscillation chapter with the type of motion you have studied further. So first is periodic motion and then is oscillatory motion. The motion which repeats itself after a regular interval of time, you call it as periodic motion. And the motion, the to and fro motion about a fixed point, you call it as oscillatory motion. And all the oscillatory motions are periodic in nature, but all periodic motions are not necessarily oscillatory in nature. So periodic motion can also be in circular motion. So circular motions are also periodic in nature. And moving to the harmonic motion, when a particle can be expressed when the motion of a particle can be expressed as in the form of single sine or cosine function, then you call that motion as harmonic motion, simple harmonic motion. Here, we are having a simple harmonic motion description. So in which we are having an equation that is the equation of the form d square x by dt square plus k by m into x equals to 0, or d square x by dt square plus omega square x will be equal to 0 is called a harmonic motion equation. So this is the equation which will represent a simple harmonic motion. So this equation can be obtained by considering our Newton's laws of motion equation, second law equation, and the equation from Hooke's law. By considering these two, we can get this equation. Further, some important points as x equals to a sin omega t, x equals to a cos omega t, x equals to a sin omega t plus or minus b cos omega t, x equals to a sin square omega t, x equals to a cos square omega t plus phi. They all satisfy the above differential equations. Therefore, they all represent simple harmonic motion. All simple harmonic motions are oscillatory, but all oscillatory motions are not simple harmonic. Two particles executing SHM with time periods T1 and T2 such that T1 is greater than T2 start at the same time. The particles will be in phase after n oscillations of T2 and n minus 1 oscillations of T1, so that n T2 equals to n minus 1 T1. Many times this is a standard question which will be asked in examinations, many competitive examinations, wherein they start the motion simultaneously, but you want to know after what time they will be in or they what time they will be in phase with each other. So in that case, you require time period of both the types of motion, and then we assume this equation that is nt2 equals to n minus 1 t1, and we calculate the value of n. So that is how we get the equation. So velocity and acceleration of a particle executing SHM will be discussing. So if x is the displacement of the particle that v1 by x equals to a sin omega t, then v equals to dx by dt or a omega cos omega t, or v equals to a omega sin omega t plus pi by 2 is the velocity equation. So here I have written it in terms of sign because we come to know that displacement and velocity are differing by an phase of pi by 2, and velocity leads to displacement by an angle of pi by 2. So velocity is also simple harmonic in nature as it is having only one sign function. Now dependence of velocity with position. So if at mean and extreme position, what will be the case? We will be learning from this equation. So in terms of displacement x, the velocity v can be written as omega into root of a square minus x square, and acceleration will be given by a equals to dv by dt, so equals to minus a omega square sin omega t, and a equals to a omega square sin omega t plus phi. So acceleration leads velocity by an angle of pi by 2 and displacement by an angle of pi, and acceleration and displacement are in opposite phase. So hence to indicate this in our differential equation we will be having negative sign. The negative sign shows that the acceleration and displacement are in opposite direction. So now dependence of acceleration with position I can show you by the equation equals to minus omega square x. So now here they have given you a tabular column where displacement is x, velocity is v, and acceleration will be say a. So in that case, at different position, the equation first you should know the relation between them, and then at extreme and mean position, displacement is plus or minus a and 0. Then velocity at mean position is maximum, so it is plus or minus omega, and velocity at extreme will be 0. Next, acceleration will be given by minus omega square x, so it will be a equals to 0 at the mean position and maximum at extreme position, that is plus or minus omega square a. Now this is the graphical representation to indicate the phase difference between displacement time, or velocity time, and acceleration time graph. So here it will be showing you some idea or giving you some idea about how these things will change with respect to time. So these three graphs, so you can observe that displacement velocity difference of pi by 2, velocity acceleration difference of pi by 2, and displacement acceleration difference of pi. So there will be a phase difference of pi and pi by 2 in between these. Moving further, now energy of SHM. So energy of SHM is given by the equation of mv square. So when we substitute the value of velocity in this, so kinetic energy is given by 1 by 4 m omega square a square. Maximum kinetic energy is half m omega square a square, and minimum kinetic energy is 0. Kinetic energy is maximum at mean position and 0 at extreme position. Potential energy is basically given by again 1 by 4 m omega square a square. This is average potential energy. Maximum potential energy is half m omega square a square at extreme position and 0 at mean position. So here we are having our equations for different time periods, three different frequency, what will be the case. So graph is given to you. So total energy is always remaining constant. So kinetic energy plus potential energy will give you the total energy. So it will be equal to m omega square a square. So there we get it half m omega square a square as shown in the diagram will be your total energy. Then you are having plus a minus a extreme position. And in between it is a mean position. Then you are having kinetic energy curve, potential energy curve, and total energy curve. So at potential energy is will be equal to kinetic energy at x equals to a by root 2 or t equals to t by 8. So after an interval of t by 8 seconds, so then the kinetic and potential energy at that point will become equal. So if two particles start oscillating in phase, and then instead at which they come in phase again, difference of their number of difference of the number or vibration must be integral. They come to opposite phase, then difference of the number of vibration must be odd half integral. So this is the condition. Integral number, then it will be they come in phase again, and then it will be in opposite phase if they are having odd half integral multiple. Moving further, now coming to the discussion of simple pendulum. So here the time period of simple pendulum we calculated for smaller angles. That is when the displacement is about less than 15 degree. Then we get an equation for time period as t equals to 2 pi root of L by g, where L is the effective length of the simple pendulum and g is the acceleration due to gravity at a place. So on changing various factors, the time interval will change. So if length L is changed, so delta t by t equals to half into delta L by L, because it is a root. So root error in terms of error when you write it down, so it will be half into delta L by L. So if gravity g is changed, then it will be delta t by t equals to minus half delta g by g. If length of pendulum changes due to rise in temperature, then time loss per day will be alpha delta theta divided by 2 into 86,400 seconds, where alpha is the linear coefficient or coefficient of linear expansion. Then fall of temperature will be again time gain per day. So it will be as the time decreases, the length increases. So then we are having time period increments as given by the equation alpha delta theta divided by 2 into 86,400 seconds. If a simple pendulum is taken height h above the surface, loss of time per day. So we know very well that gravity will not be same at a height h. So that is the reason it will be h by r into 86,400 seconds. So for if h is 1 kilometer, loss of time is 13.6 seconds per day. So 13.6 seconds time will change. So this is how we are having different cases. Simple pendulum in a lift, so t will be equal to 2 pi root of L divided by g plus a. Moving upward, moving downward, it will be L by g minus a. So in case of free fall, a will be equal to g, t will be equal to infinity, and f will be equal to 0. So next, when it is moving in an vehicle and to the roof of a vehicle, and then t will be equal to 2 pi root of L divided by root of g square plus a square. And when the vehicle is sliding down an inclined plane, so then it will be t equals to 2 pi root of L divided by g cos theta. So if a bob is charged and placed in an electric field, so then g effective will be equal to g minus qe divided by m, where qe by m is the acceleration produced in the bob due to electric field. So then your time period t will be equal to 2 pi root of L divided by g minus qe by m. So then field due to fixed point charge t will be equal to 2 pi root L by g. So this is how we are having it. So time, that is time period, does not change. Okay, it will remain same when they are hanging a charged particle, oppositely charged particle from a fixed surface. Next, in a horizontal field, you will have an increment in the time period. So increment is the acceleration due to gravity, net acceleration due to gravity. Hence, it will be t equals to 2 pi root of L divided by root of g square plus qe by m whole square. Now the simple pendulum whose time period is equal to 2 seconds, we call it as seconds pendulum. So in that case, t equals to 2 pi root L by g will be the equation for time period, and the length will be equal to 99 centimeter, that is nearly equal to 1 meter. So simple pendulum of length comparable to the radius of Earth. Now time period of such a pendulum is given by t equals to 2 pi root of 1 divided by g into 1 by L plus 1 by Re. Various cases of such pendulums are given here. When the length of pendulum is very large, that is L is very much greater when compared to Re. So 1 by L will tends to 0, so t will be equal to 2 pi root of Re divided by g. So it is equals to 60 root 2 minutes, so 1.4 of an hour, so 84.6 minutes. So when radius of Earth is very large, so when R is very much greater compared to 1, then t will be equal to 2 pi root of L by g, as 1 by R will tends to 0. So now moving further. We are having oscillation of a spring. So then horizontal oscillation, the spring is pushed from x equals to 0 to x equals to x naught and released. So then the spring starts to execute SHM. The amplitude of the oscillation is given by x naught, and the time period is given by t equals to 2 pi root of m by k, where m is the mass of the block and k is the spring constant. So if in equilibrium position, extension in the spring is given by y naught equals to mg by k. Now the spring is pulled by E and then released. The amplitude of oscillation will be I and time period t will be equals to t equals to 2 pi root m by k. Now suppose say suddenly removed. So then y naught will be equal to mg by k, and maximum extension will be 2 mg by k, and amplitude will be equal to mg by k. So t will be equal to 2 pi root of m by k. Time period of oscillation in horizontal and vertical oscillation is same and does not depend upon the amplitude. So this is an important point to note here. Now when I connect two springs in series, so then 1 by k will be equal to 1 by k1 plus 1 by k2, that is effective spring constant k will be equal to k1 k2 divided by k1 plus k2. So there are many questions related on the combinations of springs. So this is series combination end-to-end connection when you are having k as k1 k2 divided by k1 plus k2. So it will be t equals to 2 pi root of m by k. So we can substitute the value of k effective there and we can calculate it. So in parallel, so this is another series combination. So again, the same equations. This is connected in vertical way. In previously, it was connected in horizontal way. So now in series combination, force developed in both the spring will be same. Extensions in the springs will be different. X1 by X2 will be equal to K2 by K1. Energy stored may be different. It is U1 by U2 equals to X1 by X2 is equal to K2 by K1. So total extension is X equals to X1 plus X2. Parallel combination, effective spring constant k equals to k1 plus k2, so t equals to 2 pi root of m by k. So effective spring constant again in terms of parallel, different combinations are given to you, different ways they can be connected there. And moving further, you are having in parallel combination, force developed will be different and extensions in the spring will be same. Energy stored may be different, so F1 by F2 is equal to K1 by K2, which is equal to U1 by U2. So if we cut a spring of spring constant k in n equal parts, then the spring constant of each spring becomes n times k. So this is an important point you need to remember in order to solve numericals. So now various cases of a spring mass system. Now coming to the spring mass system. So he has given you two many different cases here. So t equals to 2 pi root of m by k. First case you can see the time period. Then t equals to 2 pi root of 4 m by k in the second case. Then t equals to 2 pi root of m by 4k. F equals to minus of minus 4kx divided by 4. So next we are having t equals to 2 pi root of m plus IL r square divided by k. So this is how we get our equations. So without slipping, if it takes this, this is how it is will be. Next, I is the moment of inertia and r is the radius in previous equation. Now in this case, fifth case, t equals to 2 pi root of m by k, where m is the mass called reduced mass of the system, and you can calculate it. Now, physical pendulum figure shows an extended body called physical pendulum pivoted about point O, which is at a distance d from its center of mass. So, time period of oscillation t equals to 2 pi root of L divided by mgt. So, I divided by mgdt. So, I equals to moment of inertia of the body pivoted about the point. So, this is how you get the time period. It will be in terms of moment of inertia. Example in this case will be a rod of mass m and length L suspended about its end. So in this case, you are having equation as t equals to 2 pi root of 2i by 3g. A ring of mass m and radius are pivoted at a point O at its periphery. So then t equals to 2 pi root of 2r by g. Then tunneling so this is a very famous question. Many times it has been asked in the examination. So when a body is released along the tunnel passing through the diameter of the, so then time period t will be equals to 2 pi root of re by g, which will be equal to 84.6 minutes. So this is the time taken for a body to oscillate. So it is a time period of the oscillation of a body which is moving along the diameter of the tunnel. In the tunneling, the amplitude of oscillation is less than or equal to radius of the oscillation of a floating cylinder. Many times you observe that a body which will not be able to sink completely will float on the surface of the water, and then you are having a time period with which it will float or oscillate about its mean position. So rho is the density of the cylinder, density of the fluid, and sigma is the density of the cylinder. So here sigma is greater than rho. So this is the consideration. Only then it will float. So t equals to 2 pi root of sigma L divided by rho g. So 2 pi equals into root of h divided by g. So where L is the total vertical height of the cylinder. So this is how we get the equation for time period. Now there are different types of oscillations. Natural oscillations in the absence of any resistive force. If the body performs oscillation, then we call it as natural oscillation. When they say the frequency with which it vibrates as or oscillates, we have natural frequency. Damped oscillation. So here there will be presence of resistive force and which will decrease the amplitude of the oscillations periodically. Forced oscillation. So here we have a presence of external periodic force with the constant amplitude, which will make the body to oscillate, and then we call those oscillations as forced oscillations. Here there is a comparison given to you for natural oscillation, damped oscillation, and forced oscillation. Even in NCERT textbook, he has given you the same sort of description here, but here it is in tabular formats, which will make you easier to understand. Now, natural oscillations, amplitude remains constant with time. In damped, the exponential decrease with time, and in forced, and it remains constant with time. The resultant force F equals to minus ky, F equals to minus ky minus bv. So F equals to minus ky minus bv plus F naught sine omega t. So F naught sine omega t is the periodic force which you are applying. Differential equation d square y by dt square plus omega naught square y will be equal to 0. Next here it will be d square y by dt square plus b by m into dy by dt plus omega naught square y equals to 0. Next you are having d square y by dt square plus b by m dy by dx plus omega naught square y equals to f naught by m sine omega t. Now solutions are given to you. It does not depend upon time t. Here it will depend upon time t as exponentially varying. Next you are having here it has f naught divided by root and f naught divided by root of m square omega naught square minus omega square whole square plus b square omega square. So natural angular frequencies when you are having, so it is given to you omega and phi value. So this is how damped, forced and natural oscillations will be behaving. Next for the natural frequencies, here also it is mentioned here, you can go through it. Now for forced oscillations, displacement y varying with time t. The equation has been, the amplitude will remain same, so graphical representation is given to you. So only amplitude versus time, when you see, it will be a straight line parallel to x-axis, time axis. So this is how it will be varying. For damped oscillation, the amplitude goes on decreasing periodically. So for amplitude variation, he has given you the particle variation, he has given you. So this is how the graphs, different graphs will be for this, for damped oscillation. Now coming to an interesting concept of resonance. The amplitude of forced oscillation is proportional to 1 divided by omega naught square minus omega square. As omega move towards omega naught, A increases. When omega is equal to omega naught A, it is maximum. And when omega is equal to omega naught, A is maximum. So this phenomena we call it as resonance. So when the external frequency is angular frequency is nearly equal to the natural frequency of the oscillating body, so then we say that the resonance is achieved. For resonance, F will be equal to F naught, that is the frequency of external periodic force will be equal to the natural frequency. Only then the amplitude will become maximum. So this is the condition. So this phenomena we call it as resonance. Here F naught is called as resonating frequency, omega naught is called as resonating angular frequency, and A will be maximum. So now for resonating curves, we get different types of curves. So B will be 0, A will be equal to infinity. So you can see the graph as given. So this is the graph which is also given in your NCERT textbook. So you can go through it. When soldiers are marching on a suspended bridge, the frequency of external periodic force become equal to the natural frequency of the bridge, and bridge might be collapsed. So the amplitude will become maximum, hence there are chances that bridge may be collapsed. The gust of wind exerts external periodic force onto the trees and structures. If this frequency becomes equal to the natural frequency, tree oscillate with very large amplitude and collapse. So when a bridge is designed, care is taken so that external force due to gust of wind and natural frequency of the bridge do not become equal. So this is how, in order to avoid resonance, sometimes we design the structures, but when it becomes equal, so then there will be disasters which will be created. Thank you for this. So this is regarding your oscillation.